Reekwind freezes, his arms akimbo, cross paths with a crossed one, had looking of a pumpkin, his seeds, curses. Reekwind then thrusts his belly out so as to appear fat, slicks back his hair with his filthy palm so he looks almost bald, and begins drumming his fingers on his fat belly. He then walks about, circling the spot where his stuffy, upper-class persona used to be. All a jumble with curses, this one was. With a sneer and a careless gesture, Reekwind tosses an invisible curse at the stuffy persona. Knew my name, let it slip I had, all it took it all. He stiffens up again, inhaling deeply, and resuming his upper-class persona. The persona suddenly crumples, and Reekwind breaks wind violently, then exhales, filling the air with his foul, reeking breath. Cursed with stenches, smells, excrement. Came here to tell tales, all good for now. Now Reekwind is the name. Given name. He didn't really tell us his... It's hard sometimes to follow the dialogue when I'm reading it out loud, so just going back through. Cross paths with cursed. So he was cursed with smells. Questions, answers. Can you tell me about this area? The hive, a tale I could tell, a tale I could tell. I will. But 3 coppers I must see. Okay. Spireward. He points to his left at the charred alley in the distance. An alley of dangerous angles. He bends his limbs in a twisted parody of one of the skeletal buildings. Not always angled, not always burned and charred. Once alive, no longer. Flames, fire. He flings his hands up in the air, then waves them to simulate flames. The alley burned, great smoke, ash everywhere. In the end, only skeletons of buildings left. Bones of dead buildings, angles everywhere, angles.
Updated my journal.
He hunches forward, his voice a whisper. Again, the stench from his body hits you like a wave. Dangerous now, bad men have set up their kip there. He bows, then breaks wind in quick spurts, like a bugle blowing. That is a tale of how a street becomes the alley of dangerous angles. How did the fire start? He makes a semicircle over his head. A man made it so. A beast made it so. The man whom even friends admire. What's that? A sorcerer's tale, filled with madness, sadness, burning yearning, a tale I can tell, a tale I will, but 3 coppers. Okay, we'll listen to that one. A sorcerer there was, no simple hedge wizard this, but a mage of power. Reekwind brings his hands together reverently and then smiles evilly. He burned with the art, and the art burned him. The name given him was Ignis. Ignite, makes sense. A name respected, then feared, then hated, then punished. Reekwind gives a rattling wheeze, then claws the air and hisses, apparently imitating Ignis. Taught by one of the last great magi, Ignis was, and as an apprentice, Ignis learned much, and nothing at the same time. Reekwind shakes his head sadly. In his heart, his coal-black heart, a fire blazed. It burned and it hungered. Reekwind claws at his chest as if in pain. As it hungered, Ignis hungered. It was his wish to see the plains burn. In the night, Reekwind hunches down and begins to slowly stalk in the direction of the alley, a mad grin on his face. Ignis came to the alley that was to be the alley of angles, and the fire in his eyes, the fire in his heart, both he let out. Reekwind points at the alley, then flings his arms in the air, silently screaming and laughing at the same time. Gosh, that's scary. Flesh ran like wax, people like candles, and Ignis laughed. Reekwind crumples to the ground, his body wrecked with imagined pain. An evil was done, and forgotten not. He stands up, then hunches over, looks left, looks right, then starts mumbling, as if secretly in a conference with someone. Something was to be done. He stands up stiffly, his face resolute. Punishment was decided. All the hedge wizards, midwives, rune-tellers, copper-pinching witches, all manner of magelings. They came, all, even those with the smallest trace of the art, to punish Ignis. Separately they were flies. He makes a buzzing noise between his rotten gums. Together, dangerous. He hums, then raises his hands. Caught Ignis, granted his wish. He swirls his hands as if casting a spell. He wished to burn, they granted it, using his own desire to fuel the casting. They made his body a door to the plane of fire. They intended to kill him.
Updated my journal.
Failed. Reekwind breaks wind again, as if to accentuate the failure of the wizards. Ignis lived, only slept, blanket of flames. Flames turned in his sleep as he burned. Never happier. He shuts his eyes, wraps his arms around himself, and turns slowly. Burning, ever burning. His eyes suddenly snap open. One day he will wake, and then the plains shall burn. He really knows how to make his stories dramatic. I think, we'll have to keep searching for that hammer.
I'm gone.
You might have to just buy one. Profile. I don't think I've talked to her either. She doesn't want to talk. I guess,
right.
I also missed, Hammer, so I guess she was around somewhere, but
I'm gone.
I got that in a comment that I missed her, which is frustrating because
All right.
I swear I've checked everybody in here like twice. And now I'm checking men and women in any
right.
colored clothes. Okay, do any of you have a hammer? You have a hammer, okay. So we needed a hammer and an iron pry bar, and we've got both of those things.
Done.
Fortunately, I didn't watch the video again to see
I'm gone.
in what
All right.
area I missed her.
I'm gone.
Probably by the smoldering corpse.
Done.
Mary, Harlot, Hive Dweller, Frightened Hive Dweller, Bugs. Yeah.
I'm gone.
Don't see her anywhere.
All right. I'm gone. Done.
Creedon. Have we talked to Miriam yet? Or Miriam? This old woman stands silently by the wall, staring off into the distance. She seems to be unconcerned. Oh, hello, sir. She squints at you for a moment, trying to discern your identity. Oh my, here I was, thinking you wanted me regular customers. Oh, she's selling fish. No fish. Her mouth presses down into a tight-lipped frown, then she stares off over your shoulder. You see nothing of interest behind you. As you turn back to her, you catch her looking at you. She looks away quickly, presuming you're staring off into the distance. Do I look familiar to you? Goodness, no. She pauses for a moment. Hi, you do. I think you're a man with your likeness, sir. It was so long ago. Well, you see, sir, my sight's not so good now. 'Twasn't back then, neither. But I thought I saw you walking past with a small group trailing along behind you.